A woman secretly burns her husband's first love's photos and unexpectedly travels back to an abandoned warehouse 7 years ago. Before she can react to what's happening, she suddenly finds a group of robbers kidnapping a girl. Just as she prepares to call the police, the group leaves unexpectedly. The woman rushes to the girl, looks around to see no one is there, and quickly wakes her up. Then she attempts to untie the ropes binding the girl. At that moment, she hears the girl calling out her husband's name, realizing the girl is her husband's long-lost first love. Thinking about how, for the past 7 years, she has been neglected by her husband because of that first love, hatred surges within her. She decides to abandon the rescue and turn to leave. But just then, the robbers return. Seeing her husband's first love in danger, the woman's kindness ultimately overcomes her hatred, and she decides to go back to save the girl. Unexpectedly, a wave of dizziness pulls her back to the real world, and she is startled awake by a knocking sound. Seeing her husband come in, the woman immediately tells him to save his first love. However, her husband says that his first love died 7 years ago, believing the woman is just being ridiculous, and insists that his first love would not affect his wife's position. Moreover, he mentions that her mother's medical expenses have already been sent to the hospital. Watching her husband leave as resolutely as usual, she thinks she has merely had a dream. Suddenly, she notices that the burned photo is actually intact. To uncover the truth, she hurriedly opens her phone and discovers a news story about the death of the first love. Learning that the first love died at the hands of the robbers, the woman decides to change this tragedy, planning to save her before she dies. So she burns the first love's photo again, but this time, she is transported to a high school campus. As she curiously surveys her surroundings, her phone is knocked away by a passerby. A male classmate kindly comes to help, who is actually her current husband. However, 7 years ago, he already had a first love. Seeing the slight upward curve of his lips, the woman is momentarily stunned. She never expected her usually cold husband to have such a gentle side. Just then, the man turns and embraces his first love. The woman instinctively looks at her phone, realizing the first love gets into trouble on this very day. To prevent the tragedy from happening, she hurriedly chases after them, only to hear them say they are going to the west side of the city. Recalling that the first love had an accident there, she frantically tries to stop them.